You know, it's nights like these that I've got to remember the things that happened before my time in video games. Now, obviously, NES was a tiny bit before my time, but not by much. Also, well, so is Atari. Yep, that simple one joystick, one button has always been a favorite of mine, even though it wasn't from my time. So what is my favorite Atari game, you might ask? Well, pew 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 pew, don't look very much farther than Asteroids. On the 2600, Asteroids is the best of all video games possible on the Atari 2600. It was revolutionary for its time, at least to me, and, you know, it was amazing. Love this thing.
Ah, Asteroids Atari. Those two words put together makes the most beautiful sound in my ears. And would you know, a lot of people don't ever go back to Atari 2600, but you know what? I always have and always will go back to such things. And it's just because everything was fun back then. This was before competition in video games existed, really. I know ColecoVision and Intellivision were there to try to take down Atari, but you know what? They would never succeed with a game like this on there. I mean, come on, you're basically a mouse pointer shooting at pop rocks. What could be funner than that? You know, I can't think of a single thing I would rather be doing right now. And also, it's just, everything is great about this game. I've never been able to complain about it once. And that's just because I'm in love with this base age of Atari. Bliss as I die. Even the sound effects are great.
And now it's time for me to talk about something a little bit less desirable, as in my thoughts. Guys, the 64, Nintendo 64, was a very definitive console of my youth. But then this happened. Yep, they tried to port Asteroids 64. That's right, Asteroids on the Nintendo 64. Did it go well? Let's find out.
And so begins the tale of the 64 game of Asteroids, called Asteroids Hyper 64. I don't know how it really is said. Here's the main menu. It has a save feature and multiplayer, high scores, and a couple different game modes. And to be honest, I think it's just a little weird for me.
You know, for 64 bits, you're not really doing too much for me right now. I'll give it another chance, though.
So here we are, in the game of Asteroids. There are many things that you can do. And that is shoot asteroids, and shoot asteroids. On the 64, it wasn't as fun. And you know why? No classic mode, and hardly any honage to the whole game. There's literally just the same amount of stuff, plus they tried to make it better. You don't try to make something like this better. Are they nuts? Don't fix what's not broken. I mean, seriously, imagine being an Atari 2600 fan into other video game consoles like that. Then you come up here to 64 and you're like, oh, hey, look, Asteroids on the 64. I bet that's good, right? I bet it's just like the original with better graphics. Well, guess what? This has a level system, for one thing, which is the same as the old one, but it kind of interrupts gameplay. Not to mention, you see that green thing going across? That is a power-up. There is no power-up in Asteroids. That is crap. Ugh. I will say the visuals look good, but seriously, it makes me mad that they even tried this.
Oh, right. I will give it. It's a great game. It was very reminiscent of the original. But which side am I on? Well, sorry, but the Atari still wins. It's great. It's something that everyone can always look back on, and I love it to the end.